I'm Roma, behind the camera's Russ, and this is Roaming Required. We're here in Durham in the northeast of England, and we're here to find out what you can do in 24 hours. So, are you ready? I'm ready. Let's go. Durham is located in the northeast of England. About 50,000 people live here, with the historic local university home to just over 20,000 students. You can easily reach the city centre by train. Durham lies on the main London-Scotland East Coast train line and so enjoys frequent service from London in just 3 hours, Edinburgh in 2 and Newcastle in just 15 minutes. Welcome to Durham's World Heritage Site. It was added to the list in 1986 and it encompasses this entire area. The cathedral, the castle, the palace green and all of the buildings in between. So it's quite a big site. If you're coming to visit the World Heritage Site, you absolutely must get a ticket to see inside the cathedral and the castle. They do offer tours, so it's worthwhile adding that to your list if you have some time. This is Durham Cathedral. It is widely considered to be one of the finest examples of Norman architecture in Europe and is one of the greatest surviving medieval buildings. It has been in continual use since it was first constructed. You enter the cathedral via the Galilee Chapel at the western end. Don't race through here. There are a couple of things you should see. It is one of the best places within the complex to see the remaining murals. Much of the cathedral would have been painted this way, but the buildings were whitewashed during the Reformation of the 16th century. The chapel is home to the tomb of the Venerable Bede, a monk from the 7th century who was widely regarded as the greatest of all Anglo-Saxon scholars and is sometimes known as the father of English history. Part of the set that was used in the Marvel movie Avengers Endgame remains in the chapel. Keep an eye out for it at the southern end before you walk into the nave. Don't miss the royal arms of Elizabeth I, who ruled between 1558 and 1603. Once you're inside, explore the cathedral at your leisure, but do make time to see the shrine of St Cuthbert, which is located at the east side of the cathedral behind the high altar. If you're feeling brave and want to climb the 325 spiral steps to the top of the tower for views over Durham City, you're going to need a ticket. Greetings from the rooftop here in Durham Cathedral. We have made it up the 325 steps and the narrowest and steepest tower staircase in all of England to the top of the cathedral. As you can tell by the chiming of the bells, it is lunchtime here in Durham. So we are popping into the Undercroft Cafe, which is in the bottom of the cathedral, to grab a quick bite to eat. They have loads of different options. They have soup, sandwiches, cakes and some hot drinks. So what we've gone for are 2 sandwiches and a couple of coffees, and that's going to be our lunch today. Time is of the essence, so it's going to be a quick lunch for us on the go before we head to the castle. This might be one of my favourite things about our trip to Durham so far. This is the cloisters of Durham Cathedral, and here is where they filmed parts of Harry Potter.
I spent the summer devising a whole new Quidditch programme. We're going to train earlier, harder and longer.
The chapter house behind me was used as McGonagall's office, and these beautiful walkways and arches were all parts of the filming locations.
This is the museum inside Durham Cathedral. Set out over 3 floors, it is home to some incredible pieces of history. The monks' dormitory was constructed between 1398 and 1404. While you're here, do take time to observe the original 15th century oak-beamed ceiling. It is one of only 2 intact surviving monastic tie-beam roofs in the country. The dormitory retains its original function as a reading room and is home to an excellent collection of priceless manuscripts and early printed books. It's also home to a magnificent collection of Roman, Anglo-Saxon and Viking stones, so do take your time, wander through here and take it all in. In celebration of the Platinum Jubilee, marking the Queen's historic 70-year reign, a special exhibition has just opened which explores Durham's changing relationship with the monarchs over the centuries. If you're visiting, keep an eye out for the Bishop of Durham's royal cope, which was worn at the last 4 coronations, including the 1953 coronation of Queen Elizabeth II. The piece de resistance of the cathedral's museum is located in the 14th century octagonal Great Kitchen, which is now home to the Treasures of St Cuthbert. Cuthbert's 7th century hand-carved wooden Anglo-Saxon coffin is the centrepiece of the Great Kitchen. Take your time to explore the Roman and runic designs carved on the side before moving on to his gold and garnet pectoral cross, which, if you notice, is broken at the bottom, which is probably from fiddling with it all of the years he wore it around his neck.
The only real way you can see the castle here in Durham is to join a guided tour. So that's exactly what we're doing today. We're joining a group tour to explore the castle and what lies beyond the gates.
Durham Castle has been continuously occupied since the 11th century. Today it is home to University College. A tour of Durham Castle runs for about 45 minutes and encompasses the Norman Chapel, which predates the cathedral and is home to the earliest known depiction of a mermaid in the country. No spoilers here, but the Tunstall Chapel is where visitors will hear about Cuthbert Tunstall's portraits during the tumultuous time of King Henry VIII and his Catholic daughter Mary Tudor. The Black Staircase would have been the centrepiece during the castle's refurbishment of the late 17th century. Keep an eye out for the carved woodwork such as pineapples, which would have been a rare and exotic fruit at this time. Don't miss the Great Hall, an impressive Hogwarts-style dining room which serves meals for up to 300 people 3 times a day.
Today, Durham Castle is home to Durham University. Unbelievably, this is actually where students hang out. During term time, this is halls of residence and student accommodation, but when university is on holidays, you can actually stay here. Amazing. When you're exploring Durham's World Heritage Site, do make some time to discover the Palace Green Library, which is home to the Visitor Centre, enabling you to learn a lot more about this historic area. If your schedule allows, do make some time to explore the DLI Collection, as well as the Museum of Archaeology. Still here in the World Heritage Site is the Museum of Archaeology, so we're going to pop in and have a bit of a look around. It spans from prehistoric times right through to the Romans with like 250,000 artefacts. Tonight we're dining at the Rabbit Hole. It's a 1920s Shanghai-inspired supper club. They're based over 2 floors, and I'm thinking what we're going to do is we're going to get a few different dishes and kind of share and mix and mingle. That kind of sounds right up my alley. So I've ordered Alan's Jasmine Tea, which is a pomegranate and jasmine gin, which is a first for me. And it's quite warm here in Durham today, so it is coming with like fresh lime juice and some fresh mint. So that sounds really refreshing, so that's great. In terms of food, we've ordered a few dishes to share. So we're going to go with the spring rolls, always a classic. They have a thing called ultimate dumplings, which is a bit of a dumplings mix. We've got some fresh oysters coming because we are on the coast over here. And we've got a sizzling beef and rice dish to share.
That is very, very good.
After dinner, we took a quick drive to try and capture the sunset for views over Durham City.
We've come up to Wharton Park this afternoon for what we thought would be an epic sunset, but however, the weather is not on our side, so not all things run to plan. Wharton Park is really lovely. It's on top of a hill. You get some great views of some of the historic monuments. There's some exercise equipment. There's a ton of equipment for children if you're coming as a family. There is some parking up here. It's relatively affordable, so that's a great option if you have a car. Otherwise, I think you can walk up here from the city, but I will put the details for that in the description below. And that's a wrap for us here in Durham. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you've not already done so. Thanks for joining, and until next time.
Bye-bye.